Right, okay, here we go. So it's going now. So, who'd like to do the intro to this? Should I do it, or will you guys like to do it?
You.
Oh, I'll do it. Right, okay, fine. Okay. So, hello all you fellow musicians and gamers out there. This is ClarinetGamer here, and I'm here with two special guests, Crusher and CoolPro195.
Hello.
Hello everyone, CoolPro195 here.
And today, or tonight shall we say, we are going to be discussing the Crash Bandicoot Remastered Trilogy, or the Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy as it's now officially called, for PS4. So we've got quite a lot to get off our chests here, so who'd like to go first in discussing the first trailer we saw at PSX 2016?
Heads or tails?
Rock, paper, scissors, anyone?
Rock, paper, scissors? Okay. I didn't see how this is going to work.
we tell what shape we have, like rock, paper, scissors, even though we can't see each other. Right, anyway, so rock, paper. Okay, I've got rock.
Just say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Paper.
Rock.
Rock.
Okay, right, Skull, you go first, because since paper covers rock.
Oh my god. About Crash?
Yes.
And this I saw. And the way I screamed like a little girl. Oh man. I was so happy when I saw the... Well, first of all, when I saw it, it was like a strange background, and then I saw the borders of what they showed, and then was like, this is really it. And then with the last border, and then I heard the boobiga sound effect, and then I just knew it. Crash is back, and it was remastered, and the trailer looked really amazing, and I've seen some gameplay, and it's just like the original trilogy. It's amazing. It's amazing what they done. Activision, you done them good. You done them well. Good. I'm proud of them. They didn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I personally got to say on the whole live preview of it is that it was kind of the same case for me at the start. I didn't even know what to expect because, you know, it was all dark at the beginning, but then you start seeing all the fonts and everything, and I was sort of thinking Crash Bandicoot maybe? I don't know, just give it a bit of time, and then, as Stefan said, boom, boom, and you know it's Crash.
Yep.
And then, and you could even hear the audience cheering as soon as that kicked off.
That was amazing.
Say, it was really wonderful. I mean, I've got to love the work that Vicarious Visions actually put into developing this masterpiece, and it's only a work in progress, and the Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy already looks amazing. I was in total amazement until right at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
Also gotta love how they showed a comparison between like the classic, like how Crash looked originally in the Naughty Dog games for the PS1, and then they have the animation of Crash spinning across the sides, and then, you know, it shows everything all remastered and everything. Everything just looks so polished up, and the way the animations play out, it kind of looks like, in a sense, it kind of looks like the type of, you know, HD remaster from the ground up that was made in Unity for Oddworld New and Tasty by Just Add Water, but this time Vicarious Visions, I think they sort of took a book out of their leaf and actually, you know, took everything into account, but actually I personally reckon they did a much better job. And even though this is only footage of the first game that was shown, it still looks amazing. And if the first game looks this sick already on the remastered trilogy, imagine how the second and third game will look.
Oh man, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, same as well.
By the graphics that I saw of the first game, like how they look at the first game, and remember, this is a remastered, and look at the comparison when they first came out. Look at the way Crash, the original Crash Bandicoot, looked like in comparison to 2 and 3. That was a huge step also in graphics and gameplay. And now you do it as a remastered, that could also be improved over the original remaster of Crash 1. I mean, that, to me, that would look even more insane. Like, you have Crash 1 now, remastered, looks quite nice, perfectly amazing nice. Imagine it would be even nicer to 2 and 3, just like they did with the originals. If you kind of get what I'm aiming at.
I think I think I know where you're going with that, Skull. I think I know where you're going with that. Like, you know, it could be like improved in Crash 2 3, because like we still yet to see footage of Crash 2 3, since obviously they're still working on it. But I reckon that by the time we see that, I think it'll probably be E3 next year. That's when I think we'll next see it.
But for example, the little bits, if you look back on Crash 1 with the teeth and stuff and the facial expression of Crash, it looks way different than 2 and 3. And I think that could also maybe happen in the remastered version between 1 and 2 and 3, the remastered versions. That would be even cooler if they kind of kept that as well.
You see, like, here's the thing, Crash's model is actually, like, Crash's model in the remastered trilogy itself, so far, looks like it belongs to all 3 games.
Yeah.
And the way he moves, it, as you notice, his walk cycle, it's not like in Crash 1 where he looks like he's just marching and his arms are like curving in. They're actually going like up and down and back and forth, like in the second and third game.
Yeah. But here's what I'm also in that. You see in the first game, just like they showed you at E3 PlayStation Experience in the gameplay, you can jump and spin. But as you remember, just like the first game, you can jump and spin. But in 2 and 3, they added new elements like sliding and double jumping in 3 and that sort of stuff. I'm wondering, are they going to do that to 2 and 3 as well? My guess is yes, and I'm hoping that they do that, because that would be even amazing. It would be even better.
You know, I wonder if you can actually, if they're actually going to include the slide attack and body
That's what I
slap
mean.
first game. Because that would be amazing, especially since time trials have been introduced in literally every single, in all of the 3 games this time, instead of just the 3rd game.
Yeah. Go on, Kieran.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, about the whole thing about being shown, especially like all the gameplay trailers that were shown afterwards, like on YouTube, there was like B-roll footage. Like, I'm looking forward to the time trials a lot in all 3 games. I mean, well, especially 1 and 2, but there's going to be some levels where the time trials are going to be a nightmare, like especially Slippery Climb, as we discussed earlier before the call started, before we started the recording. That's the level you're least looking forward to, Skull. Slippery Climb.
Nightmares. Oh, so many nightmares.
Yeah.
So many game overs.
Well,
now imagine speedrunning Stormy Ascent.
Oh my god.
God.
Don't even. Pedro, don't even. I'm going to need a lot of training for that.
That would be a killer.
But that would be also quite funny to watch. We should do that.
Fucking killer, man.
We should do that.
I think that also in terms of like the bonus rounds as well, I've noticed that in the same gameplay footage I had seen in that, the box counter is also on the bottom of the screen, just like in Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3 and the Brio and Tawna bonus rounds. So like, the boxes in those bonus rounds count towards the overall box count for that particular level, so that's going to add even more difficulty, I think, to the levels themselves, as well as the time trials.
But this is what I like the most of it, what they did, quite an improvement. Okay, it isn't much challenging, but it helps out a lot, is that you can replay, like they said, you can replay the bonus rounds from Chania and Dr. Embryo.
Oh, and Cortex as well.
And Cortex as well, yeah.
It's
actually quite, I'm
because,
really
like,
happy for that.
Yeah, I'm happy for that as well. You know, it's interesting you mention that, because I'm wondering in Crash 1, like, whether you'd actually still be able to replay the bonus round, even though you've, like, already completed it. That doesn't make much sense, but I'm just wondering if they're gonna make that a thing.
Yeah, me too.
Because, for example, like, if the boxes, because now that there's a box count in the Crash 1 bonus rounds as well, you're gonna wonder, like, is that actually gonna count to the overall total for the level, or is it just a bonus?
Yes.
Like,
No, they said the box counter of the bonus runs will count to the boxes in the original game. Also for Embryo and Cortex's rounds. So
Okay.
if you miss those
Then
boxes,
that as well.
yeah. So if you miss
Not
those
just
boxes,
replayability.
it's screwed. But I think what they're going to do is you can replay them until you finish it. So you actually made it from start to finish the bonus round. If you finish, so if you make it to the end, I think they will actually lock it through the whole level because you actually beat the bonus round. I
Yeah,
think.
that's how it usually was in every single one of them. Well, except for Crash 1, because if you die, that's it. You can't do
Yeah.
it again. But now, like, so since the second and third game, like, you know, whenever you finish
Yeah.
it, you can't go back.
And they put that also in one. I think they saw.
They
Because,
might do it.
yeah, but it's like they said, they want to hit for the old one like us, so the retro gamers back in the day, and for the new people, so the new kids from this generation. So they want to make it a little bit more easier for them to get into the Crash games. Because we back in the day, we just had to suck it up. You know, we lost the bonus round. Screw it, leave the level, do it all over again.
Yeah. But it's interesting as well because Vicarious Visions even said themselves, like the time trials and like the pause menu, the bonus rounds as well, like those are just a few features they've only revealed. There's still more features to be revealed in this N.Sane trilogy. So I'm trying to think, like, this is actually a point where we can perhaps speculate on perhaps what they might add on in the future. So I think what they'll do, since they got time trials in all three games, I think what they might possibly do is add an online mode where, like, you could race against, say for instance, like if all three of us raced against each other and we had ghosts in, like, say for example the Jungle Rose level as an example, and I started the time trial and I was racing against Pedro and Stefan's ghosts in that level. I mean, that's something they could add on as a nice little feature there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the concept of that feature.
You know what I think?
Online records and everything.
Well, what I think they're going to do as well is, since achievements is a huge thing to people, those are definitely going to be achievements.
Yeah, the trophies, yeah, there's definitely going to be trophies, without a doubt.
Those are going to be achievements for for beating the game, for getting all the gems, for getting all the keys, for beating all the time trials, and maybe
There
some.
are going to be trophies.
There are going to be lots of trophies. Maybe they're even going to put some hidden stuff in there we don't even know about. You know?
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Probably.
maybe they make it secret levels.
Yeah, that like even like as we mentioned, Stormy Ascent, that was originally meant to be in the original Crash for PS1, but it got cut because it was too hard. I'm trying to think they could add that into the Crash 1 remaster, and I don't know if there were any levels cut from Crash 2 or 3. I don't know if there were any levels cut from those games.
Not cut, but remade.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because they were in beta before. And you know, like, for Stormy Ascent, it could be actually, you know, remade, or, you know, to make it slightly easier, but at the same time, like,
Yeah.
still keep that difficulty that Slippery Climb had.
Yeah, but Stormy Ascent, you know, that will be really
Stormy Ascent,
that will be really
obviously,
cool.
it's really hard. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Maybe like you beat the end of the game with everything 100%, you unlock Stormy Ascent and try to beat it. That would be
Yeah.
so cool to do.
Yeah,
Like as
Yeah,
a bonus
that's
feature,
really
like you beat the game, so you got all the
Yeah, I should.
got everything. You got all the keys and you got all the gems, so you have basically 100% the game. That you open up a second path from Cortex to a different item maybe or something, whatever, and that it would say secret level or something, or just the name of the level, like Stormy Ascent, and like a special. If you beat the game, you maybe see something special like models of the first game or something, or just the logos of Naughty Dog and Activision and all that stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah, it would
not
be.
just that, they could actually, you know, reconstruct all those cut levels from the first game,
Yeah.
and actually finish them off this time and include them as bonus content as well. You could have a
that's-
set of all the levels that were cut before, but have actually been remade as bonus content for the final production of the remastered trilogy. And also, as you're speaking of things that were cut before, like it could, you know, as bonus content, it could work as for the second and third game. there could be, like, if you actually complete the game 100%. Now, I'm not saying this will happen, but I'm saying it's a potential idea that could work. But as you've seen in promo trailers and everything like that, you'll notice that there are a lot of differences within the levels, and like the sewer levels, it looks like the sewer level in Crash 2 shown in a few of the promo trailers back in like early '97. It pretty much, it looks like a whole new level, like a whole different level altogether, and it doesn't even look like it's part of the existing levels that are in the final version of the game. So then they could include that if that's actually a separate level. And also, as for Crash 3, they could include like those older versions of the medieval levels. And interestingly enough, Gee Whiz was meant to be level 1 instead of level 6. And at that stage, that was the stage where, like before, like in Crash 3, they had those, in the medieval levels, they actually had those underground bonus rounds, just like in Crash 2, and also had a more 3D environment. It wasn't just like, you know, the pathway wasn't narrow in bonus rounds, like in beta, like it is in the final game usually.
But yeah, that's something that could be very good there. I'm trying to think what else as well to discuss about. What else could we're looking forward to in these? I'm hoping as well, like, since there was a demo at PSX 2016 that was playable, hopefully at some point in the future we might get that released on the PlayStation Store, so we can play it for ourselves and see what it feels like, you know, the controls and everything. Like, for those who didn't, like, you know, go to PSX, hopefully maybe on PlayStation Store at some point down the road.
Yeah, they could do that potentially. And you know, since that demo only features levels from Crash 1, I'm thinking, like, as they release separate footage for Crash 2 and then separate footage for Crash 3, like, they could make separate demos for each game in the trilogy. So the first one could come out first, then a bit of time after the second one, a demo for Crash 2 could come out, and then sometime after, a demo for Crash 3 could come out.
Yeah, that is a very good idea. And what they could also do is, because I remember back in the OPS1 days when they did demos for Crashes 2 and 3, they had the playable level that they had was the Barrett for Crash 2, and then Gee Whiz was the playable level for Crash 3.
Yeah.
So maybe they could.
Crash 1 it was Jungle Rollers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, in America, the playable levels are different.
True. You know,
in the second game, like for Crash 2 in America, it was Snowgo, that was a playable demo, and also in the US Crash 3 they had 2 playable levels, but they were on separate demo discs. There was Under Pressure, and there was Orient Express. Actually, no, it wasn't Orient Express, it was Midnight Run.
Yeah.
Midnight Run. Yeah. That's right.
Spyro 1 had that bonus, like, pre-release demo of Crash 3 that you could unlock where you play Telltale Tales.
Yeah.
One thing that could be quite clever as well if they do this, because I remember that yesterday they uploaded usually there's like panels or interviews of certain game developers, and 2 Vicarious Visions representatives were being interviewed. And Stefan, you linked me this yesterday actually, and they were asked about are there going to be any other games that are going to be remastered in the series, for example like Crash Team Racing, and they say, oh well, it's something we have in mind, but we can't really say anything about it at the moment because it could be spoilers for all you know, like something like that. I think that's what they said.
Yeah, but because they're gonna play it safe. Why? Is because they want to watch how the N.Sane Trilogy is going, and if it's going to sell quite well, I'm gonna bet the next one is going to be Crash Racing. I want to say Crash Tag Team Racing. Crash. Crash Team Racing.
Well, of course it's gonna be like that because the trilogy itself is already a massive project as it is, and for the fact that they say that they actually feel like they want to remake Crash Team Racing, but like at the same time they can't really talk about it because at the same time, for all you know, they could have already signed a non-disclosure agreement and they kind of have a separate team working on the CTR already, as we know. But I'm not saying this is actually happening, but I'm just saying that's what could be happening, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
It's like they always said with the trilogy that they made. They really wanted to do it, but they just needed to find the timing, as they said in the panel the next day when they discussed it on the bench.
Yeah, there was no mention of Crash Bash, but I still reckon that could potentially be a thing, like remaking Crash Bash. It'd be sick, although it would be sick to actually play CTR online.
Yeah.
And it'd also be sick to play Crash Bash online with people and like have and battle everyone in these arenas and everything. It'd be so fun.
Yeah, definitely.
True, that would be amazing.
Oh.
All those 5-year-olds bots.
You know, it's interesting how he mentioned, like, you know, that these companies sign like non-disclosure agreements, and they mention like potential plans or interests in doing things for the franchise. Like, remember back in Uncharted when they said that they wanted to include like Crash Bandicoot as an entire game in Uncharted 4. Or partially that sort of happened, but it wasn't the entire game. It was just they pretty much made level 4. They reconstructed level 4 as like, you know, a cutscene based minigame, which is still a bonus. And it was nice that they, at least Naughty Dog at least, went back to, you know, making some, like, reconstructing their old work. Because they must have had it in one of their old archives or something in order to bring all that back.
They had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to.
You can't just make that on the fly. They probably had that and ported it over to the PS3. Can't be otherwise. I know, maybe a little bit of tweaking to get it right with the controls on the PS3, but that should be it.
Actually, it was on the PS4.
Or PS4, sorry. Just tweaked it a little bit. Oh my god.
It's not that different, so yeah, it's pretty much their assets amended in a way, but at the same time it does look like some of the things actually do look rebuilt.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It seems also a little bit polished up. Not that quite polished as you see with the N.Sane Trilogy, but you know, polished enough to look renewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, they just refined it a bit in order to make it suitable, and they kept the old, like, retro PS1 style of, like, the layout of the game and everything.
Yeah, just...
But they didn't, but here's the thing, they only, like, recreated the part where you can actually play in the level. They didn't actually remake the opening sequence altogether, they just showed the original.
That's true, they actually showed the original.
And it's interesting because you see, like, the original, like, cutscene, like, of the opening sequence, like, slightly out of sync. Especially when Crash just goes, "Wow!"
Yeah. It's a little... That was a little bit off sync, yeah. I did saw that. It was kind of funny to me, actually.
It was funny, just like, "Wow!" before he even said it, or after. I don't remember.
That was funny. I mean, I know it isn't right down, but I as well, like, that's kind of funny, and I know Naughty Dog tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Vicarious Visions are the masters of Crash Bandicoot. It looks amazing already as it is, and it's just a work in progress.
We had so much worries when it was with Activision. Well, still is with Activision. It's so much worries, but
it just comes to show you that Vicarious Visions were the correct developers for this project all along, from my point of view.
Oh yeah, they were. They were indeed.
So, does anybody else have anything else to add to the discussion, or anything else you'd like to bring up?
Yeah. Give us a goddamn European release date.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we certainly need a release date, because so far it only said coming 2017. Also, I got another thing to say about the remastered trilogy. Some people have kind of already started nitpicking, they're already quick to judge, and guess what? People are actually some people are actually comparing that to Skylanders, and they're saying that it looks like a Skylanders game. How the fuck does that look anything like Skylanders? It doesn't play like Skylanders whatsoever. It includes some sound effects, but not entirely.
Okay, I agree. I kind of see why you get it off of Crash's model, but even that, there's still
Crash's model is
huge
completely
difference.
different. There's a massive difference.
Yeah.
Crash is actually wearing sweatpants like he is in the originals, like for the PS1, and it actually conforms more to the PS1's design than Charles Zambellis' original concept, like Skylanders did. So it looks nothing like the Skylanders model whatsoever.
But I think Skylanders was just a way to hint to the people that they didn't forget about Crash.
Yeah, that was it. The Skylanders. Yeah, Skylanders is like bonus content for the main comeback.
Yeah.
It's not the same case as Spyro.
It's
and
like,
as I was saying, like, as for the gameplay, it does not play like Skylanders whatsoever, because you don't go around collecting coins just so you can upgrade your moves, because whatever moves you get, you beat a boss fight, you defeat a boss, and you earn a power-up in the third game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And secondly, life system. Like, you don't just lose a life. Like, in the actual Crash games, you don't lose a life. You don't just lose a life when an enemy actually harms you without an Aku Aku mask. You lose a life by falling down, like pits and everything. Whereas in Skylanders, you only lose lives if you run out of health, and there's no health system in the original Crash games, nor do the remasters have an actual health system. It's just lives. They serve their own purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a retarded comparison if you think about it.
Well, I don't mean to name names or anything. Actually, I'm not going to name anybody, but like, I'd seen somebody's video doing something like that, and honestly, I was just like, dude, did you even watch the trailer? Because seriously, like that's what I was thinking to myself as well. Did you even watch the trailer, or are you just making stuff up? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's just that's flat out taking the piss, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an immediate dislike.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like I said earlier, like, people are just too quick to judge. Well, some people are just far too quick to judge, and they can't even give something a chance. Especially those, like, in the fan base. And yeah, also, just like Kieran said, I'm not gonna, call anyone out or point any names, but, it's people like that are just so stuck in the past, and they're obsessed with, like, being spoon-fed old yogurt from 1996. And yeah, I quote that from Voice Legend, who's previously known as Crash Legend 25, aka Victor. But yeah, but he's right when he says that, because, we can't just keep on obsessing about the past. I mean, you gotta let the franchise innovate, and this is what it's doing.
Definitely.
Because this is all the fans ever asked for. They wanted, like, one of their biggest demands was to have, like, the original games be fully remastered from the ground up, and that's exactly what they're getting. And it looks, and telling by the footage, it even looks like it's exactly like what they're doing as well.
It looks just like it. They even show the comparison between one and the original one and the remastered version. You see the little difference. You can see them, but they're not that huge of an impact as oh my god, it looks totally different. No, they just did tiny little bit things different, some bits better in my perspective, but they kept to the original, and that's what I like the most.
Yeah,
it's 99% the original, just 1% improvement because of PS4 capabilities.
Well, here's
that's
the
what
thing,
I think.
like, obviously they got to conform to the original concept. Because, then it shows consistency. Because then it's not, like, far too dramatically changed to a point where, people don't like how it is now, and they prefer how it was before. But now that they're, like, actually keeping consistency with everything, they are still dramatically, like, improving them in another sense. Like, you can take a look at the shading and all the visual effects, but everything just looks so much better.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks so much better. I mean, the boss fights.
Even better, like it's being produced at 4K 60 FPS.
Or
It's even better.
or 4K, as Sony likes to put it.
Okay, not 4K, but 4K.
It's 4K.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's taking 4K to the next level, you know.
Yep.
That's 1K. That's right.
It's just 1K cooler.
But if you look at the trailer, when they showed you the difference of the boss fight from Papu Papu, it looks so great. I mean, the light details, the details on Papu Papu itself, the life counter of Papu Papu, is so nicely done. It looks so great.
Yeah.
They really did an outstanding job with that.
The animation in the way he moves is much more like. There's much more animation in the way he moves in comparison to the original game as well.
Look at his feet. Look at the moving of his feet. In the original, he just like shifts a little bit, and you see a little bit of Pixar moving that you know, okay, he's moving his feet. In the PS4 version, you actually see him lift it up and turn.
And he's leaning over while he's doing it.
And he's leaning over while he's doing it. It's so amazing to see that.
You know, it's interesting because it kind of gives me that Twinsanity vibe at the same time. Because I remember when in Twinsanity, there's this part in Toten Hokum where when you can actually walk into Papu Papu's house and you find Papu Papu sleeping on his chair or his throne, however you like to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's his throne.
Yeah, it's his throne because it's a tribe.
Yep.
It's tribal.
Yep.
That's true.
Well, it's certainly a lot that we've discussed, and I think that's a good time to end it off. Unless if anybody else likes to add in anything else, or even like a final closing remarks regarding the trilogy. Pedro, would you like to start with any closing remarks regarding the trilogy?
What I got to say is that there's a lot of good things to expect from the trilogy, and from what I saw, there's literally nothing to criticize about it whatsoever. I mean, I'm speaking for myself personally, but at the same time, I can just see that it's going to be a really enjoyable game, and it has the potential to sell well. And for those of you fans out there, for those of you who are actually proper Crash Bandicoot fans that actually appreciate the franchise what it is, don't let people like those from the fan base ruin it for you. Okay, don't let them ruin your opinion, because you want to enjoy the character who you grew up with as a child. And plus, this is the comeback. This is the big comeback for Crash Bandicoot. It's his big break, and it's all of what every Crash fan has ever asked for since 2008. It's been 8 years since we got something proper from Crash Bandicoot, and now we're getting a legitimate product.
Yep.
Yeah. Skull, would you like to go next?
Oh man, I can't wait for it, man. There's only one thing that I have to add on this.
Sorry for interrupting, but I just remembered last something that I'd like to end off with. But yeah, anyways, as this is like Crash's big break, I'd like to say that, appreciate it for what it is, and also be grateful and thankful that Crash is actually back this time. And to be completely honest, I'd rather have him come back, even if this is just one last time. I'd rather have him coming back one last time than never at all, because it's funny how all this time before everything was announced back at E3 2016, like the entire fan base kept on saying like Crash Bandicoot is dead and all this crap like that, and they were proven wrong at E3 2016. So Crash Bandicoot is not dead. He still has this shows that he still has a lot of good years ahead of him, and I personally have high hopes for Crash Bandicoot. I'm thinking if this remastered trilogy could kick off well, then I suppose CTR and Crash Bash could get remastered of their own as well.
You know how I feel about this? This feels like Crash is getting a fresh new start to the world.
Yeah, it's a fresh start.
That's how I feel like it. Crash, just like we had in 1996 with the first original Crash, it's for this century, this century of kids today. It's a fresh start for them as well to meet Crash. like this, and if Activision does it right, they will work on that and see that maybe we should see this as a fresh start for Crash. We did a good ground, and maybe we should pick some stuff up from what the original was and put that in, and maybe later on they expand that with their own sort of versions. Not like Crash of the Titans, please, but just, you know, build it up like CTR or Twinsanity, for example. Maybe they can fix Twinsanity for once. But yeah, just like, I see it as a fresh. You can see it as a fresh start for kids from this generation, and for us, it's just our childhood dreams come back to life once more. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great closing remarks from both of you. I mean, what I've got to say is I'm glad that Crash Bandicoot has come back. Like, after 8 long years of absence, I mean, I'm glad he's come back in the form of remasters, especially from the first 3 games from Crash Bandicoot, and they all look amazing. Plus, I can't wait to see what they do, or what footage they have for Crash Bandicoots 2 and 3 in the future, like which will probably happen at E3, like I said before. But I can't wait for this trilogy to come out. It's on my top of the list of most anticipated games, and I'm definitely going to do online play with both of you and Ryan and any other Crash Bandicoot fans who I'm friends with as well. So all in all, I can't wait for the product to come out next year. That's all I can say.
I just have one little thing to add to this.
Yeah.
Give me a bloody release date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
just a little bit of announcement. Just a set date.
That probably
not 31st 12 2017. I know that it's a standard date. I need a specific date, or even a specific month. That's all. If you give me a month, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, man.
Because it goes around that it is somewhere around February. Some people say it's the end of February that Crash N.Sane Trilogy is coming out.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I can see them announcing a release date at E3. That's when I think they're going to announce the release date.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you there, because February and March still seems very early, especially since now that, you know, the remastered trilogy is still in development and they only showed footage for the first game. That shows they've still got a lot to work on.
True.
So potentially could be released in somewhere in September or October 2017. I mean, it's a more sensible date as well.
Yeah.
That should be. Yeah. Or just do it smart, do it mid-summer, please, so I get something to do in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when that trilogy hits its release, we're all gonna be like living and breathing the air of Crash Bandicoot. The fresh air of Crash Bandicoot we've had as children. We're breathing brand new fresh air off of it, and this is fresh air for the Bandicoot as well.
Yep, definitely.
You know what I think what I'm gonna do when it gets announced. Maybe you guys want to join me as well, maybe Ryan as well. I wish he could be here, but he's not. If we get a certain release date with a certain amount of time, you guys might want to do a collab with us going through the original Crash 1, 2 and 3 for funsies.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And you know what's interesting, like, if I actually, because I've pre-ordered the game ever since, like, I've pre-ordered the remastered trilogy ever since, like, the first ever placeholder was put up for a game UK. It's really awesome, and I can't wait to get it on release. It's gonna be fucking sick. And like I'm doing with Skylanders Imaginators Crash Edition, I could potentially start my own Twitch livestream series on the Crash Bandicoot N.Sane trilogy as well. And perhaps before that, I could potentially do like 3 separate live streams playing the originals before that, or I could do them all in one live stream before the N.Sane trilogy comes out.
I will be happy to join you, man.
That'd be amazing.
But I'm so glad you guys have pre-order options in the UK. I'm fucked. I don't have pre-orders yet.
You've got plenty of time, so there's no rush.
I only have a placeholder.
There's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, these dates are just placeholders, people. Like, don't mistake them for actual dates.
Yeah, I had it on the Facebook group.
There's a reason why they're calling it placeholders.
I had it on the Facebook group, yeah. Someone said, oh, it's going to be that long because Crash Bandicoot is only going to release in the end of 2017. And that person was so retarded. We, like 10 or 20 people told him that's just a placeholder, but he wouldn't believe it. So really smart.
It's common logic. It's common logic because, you know, it takes time to develop like a remastered trilogy, especially like 3 entire games being completely remade from the ground up.
Everything that's as expected year or release 31st 12 2017 or how do you all have that 12/31st 2017 for America? That's just a placeholder. It's just a placeholder. They will fix that as soon as, you know, the developers of the game actually announce when they want to bring it out. Then it's getting changed and they will give it an announcement of when it's going to be out. They will let it know. Because
it's the developers that know when the game has actually been refined to its best. Like, it's not always
they have to give the green.
Yeah, they have to. Of course, they're gonna have testers, but at the same time, it's not just the clients that decide. It's the clients and the developers that also have to decide when it's ready. And whenever it gets ready, then, you know, it's ready for launch. But it comes out in its own good time, and it's up to for the developers to decide. So of course it's gonna take a certain amount of time, like all the way up to like September or October, somewhere in the middle of 2017. And I'm not just speaking from a developer's point of view. I'm also speaking from a customer's point of view, because what customers need to take into consideration is that it obviously takes time to remaster 3 games from the ground up.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
it's common sense as well.
Plus, when you do that, you also have to keep rewatching and replaying the original.
Yeah, it's just pure common sense.
Yeah, so what I see, they build a little bit of the stage, then they have to replay it to verify if it's right, and then they go on to the next bit, and so on and so on and so on. And that's just with one game. They have to do with 3 games because it's a trilogy of Crash 1, 2, and 3. So they have to do that with 3 games, bit by bit, so piece by piece, verify that. It takes time, but you can see what time takes us. It brings us glory.
Definitely. So yeah, I think that's a good note to end it off on that, I believe. I mean, we've discussed a lot about the trilogy. We're all hyped up. We're really looking forward to it. It's a pity that Ryan, aka Rich Renegade, couldn't be here, but I'm pretty sure that he's excited as we all are for the trilogy coming out. And so
I think the last update that I heard, he was in restraints.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I just remembered another thing we didn't mention about the remastered trilogy is that we saw footage, like there's been footage released of the first intro cutscene of the first game, and you can really tell the difference, and it really is that better graphically, and not just that, but you can actually tell like who's speaking in the cutscene this time. All the voices are not done by one person, they're not all done by Brendan O'Brien, because now Cortex is done by Lex Lang, and Brio is done by Maurice LaMarche, which is really awesome. And the fact that they reconstructed the cutscenes, they made it look... It's sort of longer in a sense.
But I like the Coco of Coco.
I also like that Torna, like... punches she punches a lab assistant. She's not just kind of like a damsel in distress. She's actually like, you know, someone who can fight for herself.
Yep. Yeah, not very long. That's quite awesome.
Yeah, it makes more. To be completely honest, it actually makes more sense to have. For her to get captured, it actually makes more sense to have a bunch of lab assistants ganging up on her instead of 2 lab assistants holding her 2 arms. Because realistically, like, she could have easily like gotten out of that.
Yeah, she could just run away.
Yeah,
it's
she could have easily kicked him like she did with one of them on the remastered cutscene.
she punched him.
Yeah.
Yeah, she punched him. I keep on getting that mixed up.
Yeah, it shows you how great they feel about the characters, and I kind of like it that they give Tanya a little bit more spice, you know, just more character.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to, find out how Coco is gonna be and who's gonna voice her. Whether it's gonna be Debbie Derryberry or Vicky Winters.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've no idea who it'll be.
I hope at least one of the two
Oh wait,
for both games.
probably. I mean, it'll be more than likely it's either Debbie Derryberry or Vicky Winters. I don't see it being anybody else from my point of view.
Yeah, and I don't think they will do like for 2 Debbie and for 3 victory. Victory.
Victory, Vicky Winters.
Vicky. I can't think.
Technically, it's the other way around.
Sorry. Oh yeah. I have the credits for me. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
I
I
don't.
I did say Tona punched first, so yeah, I just got kicked on the second time.
Yeah, I don't usually watch credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like skipping, so
Well, that's you.
most of the time I don't even know. Awkward silence.
Nah. At the same time, I do tend to read them. It's quite interesting sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think is there anything else that I think we've analysed like a lot of it. We've dissected I think everything that's been talked about regarding the remastered trilogy so far. I think what we need to do now is I think we should make another discussion video like if Crash Bandicoot Remastered is shown off again at E3, which more than likely will be shown off like with Crashes 2 and 3, we should make another discussion video regarding what we've seen in those games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's actually a good idea. And plus, we've actually been talking about Crash Bandicoot Remastered, like the N.Sane Trilogy, for like half an hour now, or more than that.
Yeah,
More.
but 48 minutes according to my recording.
So it was an hour.
Nearly.
Yeah, it's effectively an hour.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
it's
length,
feel-
I think.
Hour.
It feels an hour.
Yeah,
it really feels like an hour.
So good. Imagine if they even showed more than just the preview of Crash 1, but also from 2 and 3. My god, we've been here all night.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would have been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm really happy with what we got so far.
Yeah.
It shows progress.
Yep, and it
Yeah.
shows they're on the right path.
definitely. Yeah,
We don't have to be worried anymore.
Yeah, there's nothing
know it's
to
in
worry
good
about.
Yeah, we know,
Vicarious-
we know it's in
Vicarious
good
Visions-
hands.
Yeah, it's certainly in good hands. Vicarious Visions are officially the masters of Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
Like, there's no way
I can
it's
trust.
gonna go back to Naughty Dog.
no.
No.
Vicarious Visions are now the best company, apart from Naughty Dog, for Crash. But
Yeah,
now Naughty Dog are working on separate games like Uncharted and The Last of Us Part 2. I think this new Uncharted game they made that they announced or just revealed is called Uncharted The Last Story.
Yeah.
Lost.
I don't know whether that's-
Yeah,
No, the Lost,
Or The Lost Story. Or
Legacy, I think.
the Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy. Yeah, I think it's The Lost Legacy.
It's the Lost Legacy. I can look that up for you.
Yeah, I definitely remember it was Lost Legacy. It
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was only 2 days ago, so yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's a good note to end off on. So, thank you all for watching this discussion video, everybody. If you have any thoughts about the Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy, please leave a comments down below because would be quite interested to hear what your perspective or your thoughts are on the remastered trilogy. So, please leave any comments down below if you have any thoughts. And thank you guys as well, Pedro and Stefan, for your thoughts and your analysing thoughts on the remastered trilogy as a whole. And
You're
thank
welcome.
you. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. At the same time, people really need to know this stuff and they need to take this information into account. So
Yep.
I reckon like they were just really important points to address,
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to glance over them, but they have to be discussed.
Definitely.
They have to be pointed out.
Yep.
It's not to
So-
be taken lightly.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think that's all that we have. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching this discussion video, and thank you once again, Pedro and Stefan, for joining me in the discussion video and us getting all our thoughts out. And yep, and I think that should be then. So thank you all very much for watching, and we shall see you later for the next discussion video, which will probably be in about the summertime. So thank you very much, and goodbye.
Later.
There's everyone.